Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of May 20th through the 26th of 2024. All right, so this week we have a full moon on Thursday, and so we are starting to get to the halfway point of the lunar month, and we are certainly building momentum as we approach that. And then probably the days around Thursday, we usually get a new perspective on our lives and make some shifts and changes in order to facilitate the rest of the lunar month. So this will be in Sidereal, Scorpio, and quite close to Libra as well. So this is really about balancing out the more resourceful Taurus energies that we've had lately. We've had the Sun and then recently Venus enter Taurus. And so the focus has been on how we can cultivate our inner and outer resources in life, cultivating inner strength, self-reliance, and also outer resources like the enjoyments of life, finances, maybe the material life, this kind of a thing. So with that more material, grounded, resourceful focus, it's great to now balance that out with some of the deeper energies. Scorpio is all about being aware of what comes up in the deeper world within ourselves, how to embrace that, how to work with that, and then also, of course, getting more in touch with the deeper aspects of the outer life through maybe research, uncovering deep things, healing, things like this can always be great during Scorpio kind of energy. So with that, really the concentration of all the aspects for the most part are all around Thursday. We've also got Jupiter, the planet of expansion, in a harmonious sextile with spiritual Neptune. And so there's definitely an opening here to perhaps have more of this faith and trust in life, connect more with our soul. And this is definitely expanded. Venus is actually going to be a part of this. Venus will be conjunct Jupiter at the same time, helping us see the value of perhaps opportunities, potentials, things we're inspired about, maybe just enjoying a bit of an open-minded or free-spirited sort of energy of life. Again, maybe opening some doors there spiritually as well. So that's definitely the main theme this week, all concentrated for the most part around Thursday. We've also had some trines with Pluto. So let's go ahead and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here is the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for each day of the week, starting first with Monday, May 20th. And as you can see here, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which is very different from mainstream astrology. Mainstream does not use the visible sky, and so you will notice the sign placements are different. Like perhaps you were thinking that the sun has already been in Taurus or leaving Taurus. This is all very different. So if you are new to this channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information on using the visible sky and how the signs can change. So let's do a bit of a recap here because we did have some important sign changes last week. Last week was a lot of shifts with Venus entering Taurus, Mercury entering Aries. So right now, coming into the week, this week no sign changes, so the placements will be the same, at least for the fast movers. So Venus recently joining the Sun in Taurus. Again, the main focus will continue to be on cultivating those inner and outer resources of life, right? So Taurus the bull is all about connecting to that inner groundedness, inner strength, and all the inner resources that we can, that really are just given to us by nature or God, however you see that. It is a very yin, very spiritual energy like that. But, utilizing those inner resources, reconnecting with those inner resources, maybe doing things like connecting with self-worth and self-value. And then, of course, in the outer world, it's a great time to be enjoying the material life. So this can, of course, be as simple as nature, sensual things, natural things, the earth, anything that comes from earth, which, of course, resources and, material finances and material abundance also comes from earth as well. So a focus on the material world or the outer resources, I think, is great. This is where we're gaining energy with the sun. This is what we're valuing and enjoying or can be enjoying here and connecting to with Venus. And of course, we've just had that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, who are also entering Taurus. So really for the next year with Jupiter here, there's a lot of things to be open-minded here about those resources. And with Uranus, really for the next 10 years, how can we really challenge our own status quo and maybe even the collective status quo in the context of what we enjoy in life, in the context of what is valuable. and also in the context of nature and the natural world as well. So lots going on here. Again, this all really started during the new moon about 2 weeks ago. So we are again coming up to the halfway point of it. Maybe some shifts and changes we'll talk about, but there's definitely that focus on Taurus energy at the moment. Mercury is in Aries, so our minds and our communications are more fiery right now. It's great to be taking initiative with our communications, maybe a bit proactive with what we're interested in or wanting to learn about, or again, exchanging with others. So there is a bit of that fiery energy with Aries, but it's definitely worth saying that the ruler of Aries, Mars, is in watery Pisces still. Okay, so there is still this importance of being receptive and making sure that wherever we are putting our action, wherever we are being assertive or proactive in our life, that it is still soul guided and true to our soul. And so Mars in Pisces is a reminder to connect to the spiritual dimensions of life or our soul, make sure things are in alignment there when it comes to our goals, when it comes to the things we're being proactive with in life. And Mars will be over the North Node, so maybe there's some new things really coming into this week that we can start to develop there regarding this more receptive way of being proactive. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Monday in this larger context that we just covered. The moon will be in Virgo both Monday and Tuesday, and so it is a great couple days here for a bit of the improvement-oriented side of things. We've already had the moon here last Saturday and Sunday, and so it is still continuing to be a good time for refining things. So anything that we can fix, improve, get into the details of in our life in order to make better, I think is great. Virgo the Maiden is all about focusing on what we do have control over in life, and I think anything that can be improved, whether it's ourselves or our personal environment, I think is a great way of working with this. We will be perhaps starting to feel this Jupiter sextile Neptune for pretty much the whole week. As you can see here, Thursday is really the main concentration of aspects, and of course the full moon we'll talk about. But because this Jupiter sextile Neptune involves two outer planets, they're very slow and thus can really drag the energy out for sometimes multiple weeks, but I would say at least this week. So as we increase into the middle part of the week, and again as early as Monday, or maybe you've already been feeling it, it's great to be open-minded about perhaps more of that receptive approach to life, right? So Neptune is very much like that Pisces energy, and it is in Pisces as well. So it's this, how can we connect with our soul? How can we do what's more soul-fulfilling? And Jupiter is helping us do that, basically. Become aware of it, learn about it, be adventurous with it in the sense to be a little more open-minded about following our soul, maybe open-minded about things that are soul-fulfilling in our life. And all in all, of course, this makes it a great time for anything spiritual or anything more inward or creative or imaginative like this, as Jupiter tends to expand all the energy he contacts. But either way, I think fundamentally a great week, really, to see how things are in divine timing. And I think we've learned a lot these past months in regards to having a bit of that maybe faith, trust, or following our inner guidance. And this can be a week where things are certainly moving forward on that level, or can be, I really want to say, because Neptune's, sextiles are openings. And so we're really not forced into it like as if it was a trine, but the doors are certainly open for that kind of energy this week, I'll say. All right, so that's increasing as we approach Thursday. On Wednesday, we have the Sun trining Pluto. Venus will be trining Pluto later in the week on Saturday. So there's a bit of empowerment that can be quite supportive. We've recently had Pluto starting to enter Capricorn here collectively. And this is really about making transformations to our structures in life. And I think there's a support for that. Maybe we could notice that it's a good week for, again, some of that self-empowerment to make some changes. Maybe that self-empowerment to face some fears perhaps. Or again, just anything that we can do to really do what's really true to us. And anything that is deeper like that, I think we're going to be very supportive with the full moon as well being in Scorpio. So anything that, again, involves the deeper world, inwardly or outwardly, I think it's a great week for that. So, right. So Wednesday, the moon will be in Libra. And so that's gearing up for the full moon. Again, there is a tinge of Libra with the full moon because it will be quite close to Libra. But anyways, leading up to that, on Wednesday, a good time to see how we can bring some balance in our life. If there's any areas out of balance, it's a great time to bring them back into balance. We can sometimes notice some themes around what's fair, what's right, and just. And so doing the right thing for ourselves and others is a great way of working with this. And just, again, unifying the polarities of life a little bit, coming from a more centered or a more middle ground with things, I think is always great to do with Libra. So again, really is part of the full moon as well, being so close to that. But the full moon on Thursday will definitely be in deep Scorpio, closer to that, right inside the claws of Scorpio. And so great time to do a status check with Scorpio things. So again, Scorpio, very much like Pluto, is all about the deeper world. And I think doing a status check on that. How is our deeper life? How is our connection to the deeper world, our own underworld, and the outer world in the sense of what really matters in life? What is the truth of things? And so being willing to uncover, being willing to dive deep, being willing to have that sense of, really truth in life. And so being aware of that, being open to that. This isn't the most comfortable placement for the moon. The moon is debilitated here, okay? But our willingness to do this is really what determines it. I think with a lot of the supportive energy this week, yes, the challenge will be to dive deep, but there's a lot of supportive energy to help facilitate that. All right, so being willing to dive deep, being willing to embrace the deeper world and work with it. And again, that's going to help balance out a lot of the more grounded Taurus energy, because that is what Taurus needs, right? In order to really enjoy the material life, or this physical life, or this material life, it's important to really connect to what really matters in life and see what the deeper values are with things, or the emotional values. And sometimes with Scorpio and Libra like this, the relationship values as well, right? So getting that status check, seeing how things are going. Usually the full moon, we get that sort of awareness on things, and then we might make some shifts and changes. At least it's good to make some shifts and changes for the next 2 weeks to continue developing the lunar month. Now with this, again, definitely on the supportive side here is that Venus will be conjunct Jupiter. And so that will, of course, be there in Taurus as we were looking at. So Venus, the planet of what we can connect to in life, what we can enjoy in life, is going to be getting that dose of expansion. So perhaps a new chapter with seeing what's possible with our enjoyments, maybe with some of these values of Taurus as well. And sometimes with relationship stuff too, maybe some new beginnings there. So just a good time to, again, see what comes up during the full moon, see what awareness we get, but noticing some new beginnings with our values and some potential new beginnings with our connections in relationships with this can be great. And of course, since Venus is conjunct Jupiter, she will be sextiling Neptune as well, giving us, again, a bit of that opening for receptivity. All right, so that's Thursday. That's the full moon. That's the concentration of the Jupiter-Neptune energies, the expansion of the spiritual, the expansion of the inner, the soul-guided, and then Venus being a part of it, introducing the importance of enjoyment and value and connection. And these things certainly being activated. Now, as we start to get into Friday, the moon will then start to shift into a fucus. And so Friday could be specifically good for healing, as really Scorpio is always good for anyways. But specifically Thursday, maybe the early part of Friday, specifically Friday or the early part of Saturday as well, a fucus takes it one step further. How can we not only be aware of the deeper world and uncover it, but actually work with it? So that's why the fucus energy is associated with the healer, or the serpent bearer, or the redeemer, which is all about working with that shadow of life, that deeper part of life, and that can be very healing and transformative. So definitely the full moon energy dragging on, I would say, into the weekend. But once we do get to Saturday, the moon will pass over the galactic center, which is the very transformative part of the sky. It's the center of the Milky Way galaxy that we're a part of. And whenever the moon or any planet passes over it, but in this case the moon, it really is a rebirth and a transformation, a death and rebirth, metaphorically speaking. And this leads to then the free-spirited Sagittarius energy. So that'll be most of Saturday and then all day Sunday, and then even into Monday the following into the following week as well. But the post-transformation, the more open-mindedness, the free-spiritedness, the lighter energy. Again, Jupiter's already heavy involved, so we're already experiencing that. But I think this is where a lot of it will be starting to get implemented, especially with any shifts and changes around that full moon. All right. And like I said, over the weekend, Venus will be trining Pluto. So there is that definitely ability to connect deeper, whether it's with life, our enjoyments, or relationships. But I would say especially around Saturday there with this one. All right, everyone. So that is the week in a nutshell. So seems like a lot, but let's go ahead and distill it down into its simplest form. Really, the important thing here is that we have a full moon on Thursday. And so as we approach Thursday, it is the increasing of energy still, building the momentum of the lunar month. Then Thursday, usually some awareness. The awareness will be on how to balance the elements of value. Deeper value of Scorpio is what's really good to do a status check on, what really matters in life, what really is the truth of life. But in order to help balance out what we've already been focused on, which is in the more natural life, the resources of life, cultivating that more grounded approach to life, because we really can't have one healthy without the other. In order to have a good connection to Earth and the material world, we have to connect to the deeper spiritual world and vice versa. And so definitely a good time for incorporating both. With the full moon, Venus will be conjunct Jupiter, giving us perhaps a sense of open-mindedness or even maybe opportunity in terms of what we can be enjoying in life or connecting to in life. And that conjunction will be sextiling Neptune, adding the spiritual elements or the soul-guided elements, at least in terms of an opening from life to maybe walk through a door or two that can be more soul-fulfilling, can maybe be more spiritually guided, or just a different way of approaching life that has a little bit more of that faith and trust in the divine process, in the universal outcome of things, and in a way relaxing into that. Great time for peace, spirituality, going with the flow. These kinds of things can definitely be, again, available. All right, so that's the most important thing. But then you got these trines to Pluto just adding to it, which is basically just saying it could be a really empowering week. And anything that can be about facing fears or removing obstacles, or again, maybe making some of these transformations in our life that are probably already in effect, can be quite supportive. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you haven't yet gotten your True Sidereal report, there's a link down below for that. And check it out if you haven't. And if you want the full report, there's a link for that as well. But again, have a great one, everyone. And I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.